welcome to Vlogmas day 4. And honey, get you a snack, get you some tea, because get ready to sip, because it is piping hot that I'm about to serve you. Okay, no, I really meant pause, go get you a snack, come back with some tea, a little drinky drink, and then we can talk. Okay, you guys, so if you can tell by the title, honey, let's get into this. Honey, get you your put your PJs on, put your little bonnet on, and let's wrap up the night with something salacious, honey. So my ego won't even let me say this, but I'm going to use this as an opportunity to just overcome a fear, honey, and just say that I've been got. But baby, your girl has been love bombed, honey. Love bomb, child. A whole bomb and no kind of love. And let's get into it. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I want to just preface by saying, as an Aquarius, I mean, y'all gonna hear me say as an Aquarius so many times, but like I stand by this zodiac sign, like IYKYK, because to the T I'm basically this. So if you know, you know. But it's very hard for us to talk about emotions, so this is why I won't be like cheesing all the whole vlog, because it's like it's uncomfortable to talk about, but you know, we out here conquering our fears or whatever. So let's get into it. So according to Obama's internet, what is a love bomb? So it says it is a verb, or it can also be a noun, where someone is lavishing you with attention or affection, especially in order to influence or manipulate you in some way. Boom. So let me go ahead and talk about this for myself, get into some story time. Okay, so this has been involving a friend of mine who I considered a really close friend. We met back in 2013 at U of H. We had the same scholarship, so yeah, we were in the same co-ed dorm, honey. Cougar Village, if you know, you know. So we developed a really close friendship over the years in college, especially my freshman year. I didn't really know him like that, but sophomore year, junior year, we were like really close. And he was one of my friends where, like, you know, I always had kickbacks, because I'm like the Black Martha Stewart. So like, honey, I always hosted kickbacks at my apartment, or, you know, there was always drinks. I would always cook. And you know, when you're home, is 3-4 hours away, you know, being able to eat a home cooked meal was like bomb, and I love that. So like, I would cook for my friends, have drinks, and then anytime we went out to parties, he was one of the people who would always, no matter how drunk I got, he would always make sure he walked me into my apartment, tucked me in, and make sure I was good. Like, he's done that so many times. So like, and there was never any, unlike some other friends who I've had, some guy friends, because remember, I've only had guy friends, mostly guy friends. Like, that's just my track. And truly guy friends, ain't no like, no mixing, no, you know, friends with benefits or nothing like that. Like, it's truly friendships. So long story short, you know, he was just somebody who always made sure I was okay in college, and never tried to press up on me when I was drunk, unlike some other dudes. Story time for another day. Anyway, fast forward to 2016, I ended up getting into a relationship with my ex. It was like brand new and everything, and I let him know, well, let my friend know, and I was like, hey, you know, I'm having a birthday party, we trying to do something, blah blah. I said, I'm inviting so and then also my boyfriend, well, you want to come too? And he was like, boyfriend, what? He ended up not coming. And then we kind of fell out over the years, because he says that it's because he joined this frat. And I'm not gonna say it because there's too many Googleations out there, and we're not doing that. But he joined this really popular black frat at U of H, and it turned him into a man whore. Like, man whore, just they were like black celebrities at that school. Like, if you know, you just know. But he says it's because of that, the reason why we fell out for 2 years. and we didn't talk until 2018 because I cut him off. But he really stopped talking to me because he was shocked I was dating somebody at the time. And baby, if you don't make a move, baby, I'm gonna make, you know, I gotta find somebody else. But I wasn't even looking at him in that way, but it just happened that way, you know. Yeah. So anyway, fast forward to 2018, after I broke up with my ex and I, we ended the engagement and never spoke to each other again. That was January 2018. So I went on a whole course of self-discovery, and later on in the year, around, like, I had lost 40 pounds, I was trying out different kind of jobs, started bartending, like I was just finding out who I was. You know, recently graduated from U of H, just didn't know what I wanted to do at the time yet with my life. And I was on a path of self-discovery, and one night, this was on May, just 3 or 4 months after my broken engagement, something in my spirit was like, go find him. Go find this guy, my friend, on Instagram. So just see if you can find him. So I did, and I was like, I saw his account, and I'm like, oh, he was looking kind of good. And you know, at the time I didn't really like him at that moment, but something after my breakup with my ex just made me look at him a little differently. I was like, he looking kind of good. He looking like honey, a whole snack. And then I was like, I got scared, so I didn't send him a friend request or nothing. And then the next morning, I woke up real early, and I had an overwhelming impression to go reach out and call him. Or not call him, but send him that friend request on Instagram. I did. Minutes later, he sent me a friend request back. And then later on in the day, my sister and I ended up going to the mall. And then all of a sudden, he slides in my DMs. Honey, made me have the whole bubble guts, the whole runs. Because when I get nervous and anxious, my stomach just be popping off. Like, it's like when a deer gets scared and it's about to run, like all the pellets that shoot out, that is me. So my honey, and he was like, I miss you, where are you? Haven't seen you in so long, let's get together soon, yada yada yada. But that's when I had to tell him, like, look, I just moved to Florida with my mom, and I don't know when I'm coming back, but this is where I live. But we developed a friendship through Instagram for years. And then later on that year, back in, it was August 2018, ended up going to see one of my good girlfriends. I just needed to get out. This is right before I started teaching, and this is like my last hurrah before I got into teaching. And I went out to go visit her in Houston, flew back to Houston, and clearly he was here. Ended up linking up. He was like, hey, blah blah blah, before you leave, let's link up. So went to his apartment, and it was like we talked and drank for hours, saw shooting stars. It was like we both like really missed each other, because it had been 2 years since we had linked up, and it was like no time had passed. Like I literally was like, it was truly one of the most intimate experiences of my life. And I had just come out of a whole 2-year like a relationship and that led to an engagement, but I had never felt that close of an intimacy until I was with my friend, and we were just talking, catching up, laughing. We laughed so hard. I remember his roommate came out and was like, I have never heard him laugh like this before, ever. Because we were just laughing. We were laughing about the trauma that we had experienced. I had opened up, told him about my ex and all the craziness that had happened with that, and he was telling me about all his woes and just all of that. And we both talked about our terrible travel abroad experiences. It was so good to like have him in my life again. And then the fact that we had finally like linked up in person, because like being on Instagram was different. You know, you could watch each other from afar, but being back in each other's presence in person was like, wow, like this feels good. Yeah, so fast forward over the next few years, we were getting like really close online, and it got to the point where like on Twitter, he invites me to go on Twitter, because I wasn't a social media person at all. Like to this day, I deactivated my Instagram, and it has been deactivated for a whole year. So like I'm not an online girl. But anyway, he was like, come on Twitter, blah blah. I said, okay, fine, cool. So I created a whole Twitter, and honey, he's out here trying to woo me on Twitter. All these other girls, thousands of girls, they think he talking about them, and I know good and well he's talking about me this whole time. So I had like started screenshotting some things. I'm like, I think this dude is talking dead at me. The reason why he wanted me to go on Twitter, like he was saying some like a lot of romantic stuff, and I'm like, I I think you're talking to me. That's why you told me to get on Twitter, fool. Knowing I have 0 subscribers, 0 followers, like yeah. And then I remember I started tweeting some stuff, just random stuff, and I remember he would take my tweet, spin it a little bit, and then say the same tweet slightly differently hours after I would tweet something. And I was like, okay, yeah, it confirmed he is talking dead at me. He's trying to get my attention. So this is a lot of like mental stuff going on, right? And we're both air signs. He is a Gemini. I am an Aquarius. So honestly, according to the zodiac gods, we're supposed to be a match made in heaven. That's why I was so like caught off guard that I was love bombed, because like it's just crazy. So anyway, we maintained a really good friendship. When I would teach and fly back, oh baby, I remember like on one of my birthdays he would send I remember he missed one of my birthdays. This is 2019, going to 2019, and I remember he texted me this whole paragraph talking about, oh, I'm so sorry I missed your birthday, this and this. I'll do anything to make it up. The next time you're in town, I'll do anything. And I will put the screenshots on the screen, because I'm not playing. Like, this is not all in my head. Like, I have factual proof. So he was like, he sent me a whole paragraph. My parents got divorced recently, and I'm so sorry that, you know, I wasn't able to see you when you were in town. I'm so sorry. How can I make this up to you? So fast forward, that was my birthday in February 2019. So I told him, you ain't it, basically. But I said, I'll let you make it up. All is forgiven. I'll be back in town in 2 weeks on spring break. You can make it up to me then. And baby, did he, honey. He took me out to this whole little like this really nice place in downtown, and we had drinks and we did like karaoke, and it was just like a really nice time. Like, he did all this way to like come out and meet me, and it was like, wow, it's just really nice. And then he dropped me back off at my hotel. We hugged, said we see each other later. Boom. And then we, you know, we maintained a good friendship. You know, we check on each other. He would FaceTime me for hours at times throughout the years, like literally call me out of the blue, just tell me about everything. Like we were building a solid friendship that felt a little bit like something else was over the relationship, that wasn't just a friendship. It was like, you grown now, I'm grown, like, what is this, you know? So it was a lot of this like je ne sais quoi in the background over this friendship. But anyway, 2020, the world shuts down. Boom. I'm in Florida, by the way, and my cousin, he's RIP, you know, he's since passed, but at that time he was just put on hospice in San Antonio, and he asked my mom, my sister, and I, who, you know, we were living in our condo in Florida on the beach. He asked us to, you know, come make a way to come, like, you know, heal him, give him juices and whatever to make his, you know, to try to get him out of, you know, his health situation, even though he was on his last leg anyway. God had other plans, but the world had just shut down. I was teaching online at the time, so it was like, my mom was too, and then my sister, I think she had been furloughed or something from her job. So either way, we were all out there in San Antonio, and we were able to get there. Guess who was also working in San Antonio? All right, my friend had just moved out to San Antonio for a job. So long story short, we ended up linking up in San Antonio several times, and we couldn't go anywhere really, but he would invite me to his crib, and it was just a nice getaway from all the drama and the sadness that was going on at my cousin's house. To see him like passing slowly was crazy. So when my cousin finally passed, oh, this is I can't skip this. Okay, let me say this real fast. So one of the times, this is how I know he was love bombing me. This is like official. This was crazy. So the first time I was invited to his place, you know, he was like, oh, let me bring out my special glasses for my special guest. He was giving me hurling me compliments. You're a high caliber woman. You're not like these women out here, and you know, you're just high caliber, top tier. Just, you know, you're the dream woman like anybody will want. He was never said that before. So it was like, what the hell is going on? Like, you are like clearly courting me, you know. It was heavy. He ended up playing me love songs all night long, dancing around me, staring in my eyeballs. Honey, we're drinking, having a good time, but I was like, what is happening? And then kicker, Plot twist, honey, plot twist. So there's this, I kept noticing, like, his phone kept ringing, because his phone was connected to his Beats pill. It kept ringing, and he was like, I was like, he kept, you know, dodging the call. I was like, you know, you can answer it, like, it's fine. Cause I get it, like, he never liked to call or have nobody call me or call him when he was with me, because it's a sign of respect. But I was like, is that just, go ahead, answer, like, you don't have to keep dodging that call. So, baby, when he answered that phone call, all I heard was, what, who be you with? What be you with? Who you acting with right now? I know you with somebody, I was like, who you at with your apartment? Who you got with you? And I was like, I'ma kill your car, nigga. I'ma kill your car. Who you with? Show me your apartment right now. And I was like, what? What the hell? What? Hold on, nigga. Like, what? How you out here courting me and you got bees coming out here talking about they about to key your car and pull up because they think that you with somebody? And talking about show me your apartment, and he's like, no, I'm not showing you nothing, nah. We ain't together. And then I was like, okay, this was going on for like a hot 5 minutes. She's like, show me your crib before I pull up and kill your ish. And I was like, okay, let me do him a solid, because we were still friends at the end of the day. So I was like, let me go ahead and I was like, my pantomime me to him, like, let me hide in the closet. So I was like, let me do you a solid, because I, you know. So I was like, okay, fine. So, you know, I didn't want, you know, nothing to happen to him. So I hid in the closet. He showed her the crib, and she calmed down, and that was it. She ended up blocking him that night, but it was crazy. And, crazy, I'm telling you. And then I was like, why didn't he, if we were just friends, he would have been like, oh yeah, I'm with my friend, like, you know, from college. But the fact that he allowed me to hide myself in his closet let me know that he had other feelings for me. Like, we were no longer just friends, if that makes sense. Even though it's still crazy and dumb, but like, yeah, because if we were just friends, we'd be like, oh yeah, girls ain't got nothing to worry about. This is my friend from college, we straight. But the fact that he like allowed me to hide myself was like, yeah, I knew he had feelings for me at that moment. Boom. Anyway, we ended up laughing it off, having a good time, because I don't really care about people's business like that. Like, you do you, I do me. Like, I'm just detached from people's lives. So when my cousin ended up passing, all my family came down. We were in a hotel, and I told, he was like, you know, he didn't want me to leave. I remember he said, you know, oh, you leaving? For real? I was like, yeah, my cousin just passed. He was like, oh, I didn't know you were leaving, because I was supposed to stay there the whole entire summer, but he passed earlier than that in June. And so I was like, yeah, I'm out, about to head back to Florida. And he was like, oh, well, let me come see you, pull up with you. I was like, just so you know, all my family is in my hotel hallway, so if you coming over here, you gonna meet my family and everything, and that might be too much, you know, because we all extra, and I ain't want them to think like we was dating and just bring, you know how like they be like trying to make a situation out of it, like, who is this, and ooh, Diamond, you know, because I just didn't want that. But he ended up coming, meeting all my family, hanging out with us through the night. Ended up going to a club with him. He was cool. He jived with my family, and we have extremely crazy dynamics. We're an extremely dysfunctional family, and he passed the test. Like, my sister tells me all the time, like, he handled that situation very well, considering the crazy dynamics in everybody's personality. So he chose to meet my family and my mama. Honey, he met my mama. Then, you know, 2021, let's fast forward. We had the 1 year kind of like reunion of my cousin passing, so it's more like you know, to honor him or whatnot. So once again, we flew back to San Antonio, and this was last summer, and he asked to come see me. He wanted to come see me, you know. And we ended up, like I mentioned this in my last video, where he wined and dined me on the river walk. We had, you know, we had drinks at the hotel bar. He came to see me at the Hyatt Riverwalk, best hotel ever, by the way, in San Antonio. Just, you know, we shut the hotel, we literally stayed at the hotel, the bar, and then we shut it down. Then we had a nice romantic walk on the river walk, where we got a little like intimate and comfy, and you know, he put his arms around me, and we're walking down the river walk. Ended up stumbling into this bar that was popping, and I like somebody who has like, who's just, we don't have any plans for the night, like we're just very spontaneous. So I love that, you know. Every time I ever hung out with him, we never had a plan, the night always took care of itself, and I like people like that. So we stumbled into this bar that was popping, this club. We went in there. He paid, by the way, he's paying for everything, you know, being a gentleman, open the doors, paying for everything. Like, this is like a date, like, you know, this is kind of like new. I mean, he's dated me before, but like this was like it felt really different. Like it felt really intense. Like whoa, like my heart was like, my heart chakra was like warmed and opened and everything. And then the last place we went to was a hookah bar, and then he drove me home. We hugged and I thanked him. I remember I texted him saying, you know, like thank you so much for a good time. And then he never responded at that moment. And he had always responded, like the summer before, and when we were in San Antonio, I was like, you know, thank you so much. When my cousin had passed, I was like, thank you so much for letting me come to your place. You know, you're a real one. I really appreciate you. And he was like, you know, he loved it and was like, you know, what you know, this is what friends are for, like anytime kind of thing. So like he would always respond. Anytime I would say, hey, I had such a good time. Thank you so much for, you know, my birthday situation. Thank you for taking care. He would also like, no problem, you know, much love, blah, blah, I got you, that type of thing. So when I texted him that, I said, hey, made it to my hotel room. Just want to say thank you so much for a good time. You know, I really appreciate you, blah, blah, blah. No response. And I was like, what? And that was the first, see, I think what it was that was the first, see, I'm a really hard, okay, let's get into it. I'm a really hard woman, meaning he had been trying to flirt with me for years, but like I just don't pay no minds to it because I got other things to do. I got bills to pay. Like I'm not one of these little girls. I'm a grown woman. Like what works for them is not gonna work for me, boo. So he had been trying to court me for a while and just like throw stuff out there for a while, trying to like, you know, woo me for a minute. Like I remember like he got a new car. I didn't say nothing. I didn't compliment the car when he picked me up in it, like at all. Like, you know, and like I'm just that girl. I'm not gonna be like, ooh, look at your new whip. Like no, it's like I'm not impressed. Like anytime he kind of tried to preen himself and like fluff up his feathers and like say what he had and all of this, and I was like, boy, bye. Like this not gonna work for me. Bye. Like it doesn't work for me. It might work for everybody else, but like labels and expensive cars and expensive things, like I noticed, but that's not what matters to me. So I'm not gonna mention it, even though other women would, because they're basic. I'm not basic. So this is the first time where it's like I let my guard down and I got. And it is very, very sensitive. I get very emotional talking about it all the time because it's like, dang, I'm so hard. Like I keep my guard up all the time. Like trust me, it takes somebody, you gotta wake up early to come and get me. You gotta wake up early to get me. And he was waking up early for years plotting to get me on one day when I let my guard down, and that was last summer. And I feel like once he knew, because the vibes, I'm telling you, were like so intense. Even my mom and my sister, when they passed by in the hotel, they took a picture of us. Like they were like, this is something else. It's magical. Like it was just a good time. It was the most magical vibes I had ever felt. And for somebody to just abandon that and walk away from that, to this point, it gets me, I just don't understand. We never fooled around, never had anything sexual or nothing going on. Like it was purely like respectful. He was very respectful. And just, I just to this day, I'm literally confused as how he would drop it just like that. Like just drop it like it never even happened. Or like I never, like he, to this day. And it's crazy because like, he knows I was moving back to Texas. Mind you, I didn't move back for him. I've been wanting to come back to Houston since I graduated college and left with my mom to Florida. And it's crazy because last year he had texted me around my birthday talking about, hey, I miss you. When you coming back to, when you moving back? And I was like, oh, you know, next summer. So he knows I'm here. He knows I'm here. Have I heard from him? No. That's crazy. That is crazy. I have not heard from him since San Antonio when we had that magical night, and it was magical. I'm telling you, like I felt like my heart like was beating out of my chest. It got to the point where like, you know, when we were in a car riding around in them streets, like I put my little hand on his little thigh meat, child, just be like, you know, just like we don't touch, but like, you know, I was really trying to be like tap into my feminine side and be like, you know, honey, you know. But baby, he had not, I'm telling you, he had not, from that, I think at that moment when I like touched him, or just when we had like a really flirty time and it was just a really fun time, he dropped it. Like I promise you, like I never heard from him again. So I've been love bombed, y'all. crazy, and it hurts because it's like I don't fool around with people. I don't date, and the way my brain works, I have to like be friends with somebody for years, even have develop feelings for them. And so in this case, I've known him for almost a decade, and it was, you know, to see that it just like I was led on and just dropped. I think it definitely sucks. Like, he pursued me, y'all. He pursued me for years, and he dropped and ghosted me like nothing had ever happened. Like I meant nothing to him, and like I didn't meet his sister and his family and his friends, and like what? Like, you met my mama. Like, I don't let anybody meet my mama. You met my mama. Like, that is nothing to play with. And I have nothing to show for it other than I'm just dazed and confused. So, I've been love bombed. I feel like manipulated. And I was watching the reel. They were talking about it. I'll leave the link in the comments, so you can watch that snippet of being love bombed. And the girls were talking about it, and Lonnie was like, only a narcissist could do something like this, when they lead you on and then ghost you or like pull away from you emotionally, and like it's never there. It's not there. So that is my story in a nutshell of how I've been love bombed by my really good I thought was a really good friend, and he initiated that romantic energy. I was just there, mind my business, and yeah, I can see if like I was pushing, but I wasn't. It's just crazy. So if y'all have been love bombed, let me know in the comments below. I'm trying to still get through this and process this. I feel like really emotionally raw on the inside, and I'm just trying to keep my heart chakra open so I can attract somebody who is worthy of me. But it's just hard to process this. I've been mind effed. This is the biggest mind F ever, and it might tap into my abandonment issues. As a child, I was abandoned, so definitely have some abandonment issues, daddy issues. So it's definitely like tapping into a really raw spot. Because I don't deserve this. So I'm sorry this has been a longer vlog. I tried. My mom, she be watching my videos. She's like, make it a shorter video. I'm like, I'm sorry. I made this 30 minutes. I'm sorry, but it was supposed to be 10 minutes. But I couldn't. I had to tell you guys everything so you can see the bigger picture. How like this wasn't just no Joe Schmo from the street. Like, this was somebody who has seen me in all phases of my life over a decade. And for literally, I have not heard from him since. And he knows I'm here. He knows I'm in Houston again. And haven't heard from him since in a year. So that's crazy. That's really crazy. So on that note, I'm going to go. I'm going to put my wall back up, and I'm a G, so I'm gonna make it. It sucks, but at the end of the day, I gotta keep it pushing, and I pray that God has somebody for me who is worthy of me. And yeah. Okay, you guys, I'm out. I know the energy just went like, ooh, it just went down, but it's okay. Tomorrow we'll be back for Vlogmas Day 5 with some real tea, with some realness. But if me sharing my story, maybe you can relate to it in some way, okay, great. Maybe I helped one person out here. But this is definitely something I'm still struggling with, and I'm still like mind effed to this day. So I'm out. On that note, good night everybody, and I'll see you in Vlogmas Day 5.